Behind the scenes of the NBA, a rumor has grown into a wave capable of completely changing the course of one of the most emblematic franchises of the modern era. The Golden State Warriors, who for years were synonymous with innovation, dominance, and spectacle, seem ready for another bold leap. The news echoing through the corridors of San Francisco is clear. Steve Kerr has approved a move for Lauri Markkanen, the Finnish star of the Utah Jazz. If completed, the move could redefine both the immediate future and even the legacy of the team. Kerr, methodical and meticulous, has never given his approval to anything of this scale without seeing technical fit, mentality, and collective impact. For him, Markkanen is the missing link between Stephen Curry's genius and Draymond Green's competitive spirit. His combination of height, mobility, and precision makes him the perfect prototype for the Warriors' fluid and versatile system. The movement began discreetly. Internal meetings, statistical analyses, tactical simulations, and projections of roster impact. As soon as Markkanen's name came up, there were no doubts. Standing at 213 meters tall, he brings exactly what Golden State needs: physical presence in the paint and the ability to stretch the floor. Sources close to the team state that the negotiation involves young talents such as Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody, as well as future draft picks. On Utah's side, the equation also makes sense. The Jazz seek youth and financial flexibility and know that Markkanen, at his peak and soon to demand a multi-million-dollar extension, represents a chance to rebuild. Golden State, on the other hand, acts with urgency. With Curry still performing at an elite level, there's no room for long-term projects. Kerr wants results now. The lack of consistency last season, marked by injuries and fluctuations, was the turning point. Kerr made it clear to management that relying on the natural development of young talents would be a waste of time. The approval of this negotiation is a direct message. The Warriors are playing to win again, not just to develop. From a technical perspective, Markkanen is a dream for Kerr's system. His average of over 23 points per game and around 40% shooting from three-point range show just how lethal he can be in pick-and-pop situations with Curry. Imagine the opposing defense forced to choose between doubling the point guard or leaving the Finn open on the perimeter. It's a tactical trap reminiscent of the Warriors' golden offensive years. But the impact goes beyond attack. Markkanen is disciplined defensively, solid in rotations, and capable of guarding multiple positions. This would ease the burden on Draymond Green, who for years has been the primary anchor of the interior defense. With him alongside, Kerr could switch schemes and reinvent the concept of the death lineup, now with more height and reach. The inevitable comparison arises. Many fans see this potential arrival as an echo of the Kevin Durant signing. Although Markkanen has a different profile, the idea is the same: bringing in a complementary star who expands the collective potential without harming the team's identity. Fan excitement is tangible, with forums and social media buzzing with every update. Stephen Curry, according to sources, has already been informed of the talks and fully approved the idea. The point guard, known for his focus on legacy and competitiveness, understands he needs more help to sustain the title fight. Kerr also seems convinced that Markkanen can revitalize the offensive system that for years was the league's most feared. Golden State sees this negotiation as a way to prolong its winning cycle. Every season with Curry still at an elite level is an opportunity that cannot be wasted. Kerr reportedly said in a meeting that the team cannot live off memories and that the legacy must continue to be built. Markkanen is the tool for that. Behind the scenes, the mood is one of expectation and confidence. The Chase Center breathes controlled tension, with executives, analysts, and players aware that something historic could happen. Kerr's approval alone already indicates that the process is at an advanced stage and that management is preparing for a major investment. Markkanen brings not only skill, but mentality. He is professional, disciplined, and focused, essential qualities in an environment where success depends on synergy and maturity. Kerr, obsessed with group chemistry, sees in him a player capable of strengthening the collective without demanding the spotlight. The move also serves as a response to the external end of an era narrative. Many analysts had already declared the Warriors a fading power, but the organization wants to prove otherwise. The message is simple. As long as Curry is healthy and motivated, Golden State will not be a supporting act. The team's plans include exploring new tactical combinations. A lineup with Curry, Brandon, Podziemski, Markkanen, Green, and Looney would create a rare balance between experience, shooting, and defensive versatility. The potential for spacing and off-ball movement would once again become the team's signature. The NBA watches closely. Rivals in the Western Conference recognize that a reconfigured Warriors team with Markkanen would instantly become a threat again. The psychological impact of such a move is real. After all, the San Francisco team has a history of turning good ideas into dynasties. Kerr, known for his strategic mind, is said to have described the risk as necessary and calculated. For him, every championship requires boldness at some point. And this seems to be the moment when Golden State chooses to bet on the present instead of protecting the future. As negotiations progress, another name has begun to gain traction behind the scenes: Kaisoto. The 2.18-meter Filipino center has attracted interest not only for his talent, but also for the cultural impact he would bring. His arrival would represent more than a signing. It would be a symbolic bridge between the NBA and millions of Asian fans. With strong game awareness, a reliable shot, and defensive potential, Sotto would fit well into a roster that values tactical intelligence and constant movement. Off the court, the impact would be enormous, especially considering the strong Filipino fan base in California. For Kerr, it fits perfectly into the vision of a global, modern, and representative team. The idea of uniting Markkanen and Sotto under the same banner is enticing. Youth, talent, and international reach. A combination of marketing and basketball that would reignite the franchise's brilliance. Management knows that time is the main enemy. Curry's championship window, though still open, is beginning to narrow. Each season without a direct title run is a blow to the legacy already built. Therefore, current decisions are made with an uncommon sense of urgency. In this context, Markkanen is more than a signing. He is a statement of faith, a message that Golden State still believes in its winning DNA, that the flame lit a decade ago still burns strongly enough to illuminate a new generation. Even before the official announcement, the impact is already being felt. Social media has exploded with lineup simulations, spacing analyses, and offensive efficiency projections. Markkanen's name is in every conversation. Fans feel that something is about to change, and this time, for the better. The entire NBA is watching the move that could reignite the fire in San Francisco. The Warriors, tired of decline predictions, seem determined to defy fate and prove they still have the strength for another cycle of glory. As the eyes of the world turn to the negotiations between Golden State and Utah, within the Californian franchise grows the sense that this is more than just a market move. It is an attempt to redefine the very concept of success. For years, the Warriors were the symbol of technical perfection and the ultimate expression of collective basketball. But time and injuries have exacted the natural toll of a dynasty. The challenge now is to reinvent that identity without betraying what made it legendary. The arrival of Markkanen would represent the intersection between past and future. He would not be the absolute protagonist, but the link between eras, a player who balances Curry's individual brilliance with Green's defensive intensity. His presence would allow Kerr to revisit tactical principles that had seemed to lose strength: constant movement, quick passing, and coordinated attacks on open space. The Warriors do not just want to add talent, they want to regain rhythm, fluidity, and purpose. Behind the scenes, performance analysts are working on simulations showing how the team would gain efficiency with Markkanen on the floor. In lineups with Curry and Podziemski on the perimeter, projections indicate an almost 15% increase in the team's overall efficiency due to improved offensive spacing. In addition, defensively, the Finn would bring rebounding stability and the physical presence needed to face the dominant big men of the conference. That tactical balance is what attracts Kerr. He knows the Warriors can no longer win with three-point shooting and speed alone. The league has evolved, defenses have adapted, and the game has become more physical. Markkanen is the modern answer to this new reality, a player who moves like a forward but has the body of a center. This duality fits perfectly with the philosophy of adaptability that has always guided the team. Meanwhile, the name of Kaisoto continues to emerge in strategic discussions. The young Filipino, though still in a developmental stage, possesses attributes reminiscent of the early years of great European centers who became franchise cornerstones. The idea of introducing him gradually into an environment like Kerr's is seen as an investment in the future. Internal sources reveal that the technical staff view Sotto as a long-term project, but with the potential for a faster impact than expected. His refined footwork, understanding of screens, and mid-range shooting would be honed in a system that values intelligent players. Furthermore, the cultural connection with the Filipino community would give the Warriors a new global support base, something the club has always known how to capitalize on. The combination of Markkanen and Sotto is not only sporting, it is symbolic. It represents a fusion of maturity and promise, of tradition and discovery. Golden State seeks to revive its pioneering spirit, the one that transformed the NBA into a spectacle of technique and art. But behind all the excitement, there are cold calculations. The board knows that every decision has a cost. The possible departure of young prospects like Kuminga and Moody divides opinion. Some fans fear losing the future. Others understand that the present demands action. Kerr, pragmatic as ever, sees it plainly. There is no legacy without continued victories. Talks with Utah progress discreetly, but the structure of the deal seems clear. The Jazz would receive young assets and draft picks, while Golden State would add Markkanen to the main core. There are even rumors that a third franchise could join the trade to balance salaries, a common move in major deals. Meanwhile, the atmosphere in San Francisco vibrates with anticipation. Players, though discreet in their statements, show enthusiasm during training. The mood recalls the days preceding major signings of the past. The feeling is that something epic is about to happen. League analysts agree on one point. If the Warriors manage to bring Markkanen and Sotto into the roster, the impact would be immediate. The team would gain versatility, offensive power, and defensive balance. More than that, it would reignite the flame that seemed extinguished since the glory years. Stephen Curry, in recent interviews, has reaffirmed his desire to keep fighting for titles. His message is clear. There is no room for complacency. Every season must be an opportunity for greatness. It is that mindset that drives Kerr to take risks. He understands that basketball, like any art, thrives on reinvention. Markkanen's style embodies that spirit. He plays with simplicity, but his efficiency borders on surgical. He moves off the ball with rare intelligence, occupies open spaces, and does not seek the spotlight. His adaptation to the Warriors' short-pass, quick-cut system would be natural. Kerr sees in him a player capable of restoring the offensive flow that made the franchise a global benchmark. In internal projections, the coach envisions that the Curry-Markkanen duo would generate one of the league's most lethal partnerships. The pick and pop between them would create constant mismatches, forcing opposing defenses into unlikely rotations. The defensive attention on Curry would open opportunities for Markkanen to punish from the perimeter, something that fits perfectly into the team's DNA. As the backstage buzz intensifies, the American press treats the case as the beginning of a new era in San Francisco. Reports describe Kerr as a strategist seeking version 2.0 of his own system. The idea is to evolve the game without losing its essence, to maintain the spectacle, but with a more solid and versatile structure. Golden State knows it can no longer rely solely on individual brilliance. Success now demands a balance between experience and renewal. Markkanen and Sotto symbolize exactly that. One represents the immediate present, the other, the hope of continuity. The days leading up to the possible announcement are marked by strategic silence. The franchise's official sources avoid confirming any progress, but the intensity of speculation suggests the deal is close. Exchanges of messages between executives, agents, and analysts confirm the frenetic activity behind the scenes. The cultural impact is also part of the equation. Markkanen's presence would enhance the team's European appeal, while Sotto would open the doors to Asia. The Warriors would once again become a global brand, a fusion of talent, history, and representation. Kerr, known for his vision beyond the game, sees in this project something greater than titles. He speaks of legacy, continuity, and reinvention. To him, every basketball era is defined by those with the courage to challenge logic. And that is exactly what Golden State seems ready to do again. The city feels the energy. In the bars around the Chase Center and across social media, the topic dominates conversation. Fans remember 2015, 2017, the golden years. And now, hope is reborn. What once seemed like an epilogue may become a new prologue, the rebirth of a dynasty that refuses to fade away. In the days that followed, the activity around San Francisco reached the proportions of a historic event. Reporters camped outside the Chase Center, drones captured footage of the parking lot, and every employee entering the building was treated as a possible bearer of confirmation. The city was in suspense. Everyone knew that something big was about to happen. And in that tense silence, Golden State's management stayed focused on one goal: restructuring without destroying. For the operations department, the Markkanen trade was more than a technical investment. It was a statement of principle. It represented a refusal to accept the natural decline that strikes every dynasty. Kerr and his closest executives knew that the basketball world expected the Warriors' downfall as inevitable. Perhaps that very expectation served as fuel. Reacting boldly became a matter of identity. At the core of the plan lay a simple, almost mathematical logic. Curry was still performing at an elite level. Green, though more experienced, retained the intensity and defensive awareness that made him a pillar of the golden era. What was missing was an intermediate link, someone able to balance offensive duties and bring tactical stability. Markkanen fit that space like a made-to-measure piece. Inside the team offices, data analysts prepared comparative reports, showing that, in terms of offensive efficiency, the Finn had an impact comparable to that of top modern forwards. His versatility offered the Warriors a rare advantage, the ability to switch playing styles without losing consistency. Kerr, always a believer in flexibility, could once again mold his roster according to the opponent, something that had become harder in recent years. Meanwhile, the name Kaisoto continued to be discussed carefully. The management saw in him not only technical potential, but a strategic opportunity for global expansion. Basketball, more than ever, is a brand, and no one understands that better than Golden State. The arrival of the Filipino player would open a new market and bring millions of new fans, but beyond that, it would represent a new symbol of renewal, the idea that basketball is universal and that the future can come from anywhere. In the locker room, the atmosphere was one of contained expectation. Curry, ever diplomatic, kept his focus on training, but everyone knew he was following every update on the deal. His leadership is not only technical, but moral. His composure throughout the process was crucial in maintaining the group's confidence. Draymond Green, for his part, let slip in casual conversations that, if the deal happens, we'll be dangerous again. The American media began to treat the case as one of the potential twists of the decade. Analysts debated how Markkanen's arrival could change the balance of the Western Conference, and the consensus was clear. With him, Golden State would once again be among the 4 best teams in the league. The discussions were not only about statistics, but about the rebirth of a philosophy. Since the start of the dynasty, Kerr had always argued that the Warriors' success came from harmony between talent and system. Over time, that harmony eroded. Some players aged, others sought stardom elsewhere, and the new generations had not yet found rhythm. The current plan seeks to restore that harmony, blending veterans and new pieces within a collective mechanism. Markkanen is the kind of player who doesn't demand centrality, but delivers results. And that is exactly what Kerr's system requires. He fits like a precision tool in a machine that depends on synchrony. His arrival would be the point of balance between creative genius and efficient execution, the element that makes the improbable possible. As negotiations neared their end, the city's atmosphere changed. Hope began to take hold. In forums and sports programs, fans recalled the days when the Warriors reinvented the game, and many saw in this move the chance to repeat that feat. Kerr, meanwhile, maintained total silence, which only fueled speculation. In the marketing department, plans began to take shape. The arrival of a high-level European player, combined with the possible inclusion of an emerging Filipino talent, would create a unique global mix. Golden State would again become not only a sporting powerhouse, but a cultural phenomenon. The NBA, aware of this potential, followed everything closely. League executives knew that a Warriors revival would boost ratings, reignite rivalries, and renew international interest. Teams such as the Lakers, Mavericks, and Nuggets watched carefully, aware that the balance of power could suddenly shift. Within the coaching staff, discussions revolved around tactical adjustments. Kerr studied new formations, mixing size, speed, and versatility. One of the most talked-about ideas involved a lineup with Curry, Podziemski, Markkanen, Green, and Sotto, an unlikely but intriguing combination. With 4 shooters and 2 players with defensive reach, the team could alternate between high-tempo offense and dominant physical defense. For many, this is the moment when Golden State reconnects with its essence. It is not just about chasing victories, but about proving that the concept which changed basketball still works. The mindset is clear. The Warriors do not merely want to compete, they want to inspire again. And as the clock ticks and the backstage buzz intensifies, one thing is already certain. The mere fact that Markkanen's name is linked to the Warriors has rekindled a fire thought to be extinguished. The city is breathing basketball again. The flame of the dynasty, which many believed had gone out, is shining once more, now with a new purpose, to prove that time cannot erase the legacy of those born to change the game. Thus, with the pieces moving silently behind the scenes, the Golden State Warriors approach a new turning point. What seemed like just another ordinary offseason may become the rebirth of an era. The possible arrival of Lauri Markkanen and the growing speculation about Kaisoto have reignited what has defined this franchise from the start: courage to innovate and faith in its identity. Steve Kerr, Stephen Curry, and Draymond Green know they are writing the final chapters of a generation that changed the sport. But instead of waiting for the end, they chose to fight once more. The goal is not to relive the past, but to reinvent it. If this project materializes, the Warriors will again become the team nobody wants to face, and the proof that talent only triumphs when guided by purpose. The message is clear. As long as there is energy, passion, and belief, San Francisco will remain the epicenter of basketball that defies rules and inspires the world. Markkanen represents the now, Sotto the tomorrow, and the Warriors once again the future. So, if you believe in this new chapter, if you think the Giant of San Francisco still has glorious pages to write, don't leave without dropping your like. It helps the content reach more basketball fans. And of course, subscribe to the channel to follow every update, every rumor, and every victory yet to come. Because when Golden State moves, the entire basketball world pays attention.